It's the full moon in Sagittarius. Now I know, Sagittarius, it's all fun and games, am I right? Despite being the best zodiac sign in my humble opinion, Sagittarius is a sign about philosophy, seeking out the truth and hidden wisdom of all things, even if that truth hurts. This full moon is trying to remind you of the vision and the promise that you've made to yourself in seeking out those things in life that genuinely fulfill you. But let's backtrack for a second and explain how full moon energy works in the first place. A full moon occurs when the sun and moon are opposite one another. But what does it mean? A full moon is about releasing your fears, your doubts, bad habits you may have that are surrounding whatever the energies are happening. So we have the sun in Gemini. It's Gemini season for those who don't know. So the need to communicate has grown and increased. There's a want to be social now that there's so much air energy in the air. That was kind of redundant, but I think you get what I mean. But one of the key factors to Gemini is playing with the world around them. If you ever seen the Avengers, Loki's a prime example of that Mercurial and Gemini kind of energy. Gemini could also represent the trickster, but most importantly, the student. The reason why Gemini can even troll or joke around with you like that is because their brain is filled with Snapple facts from real life conversations and genuine interactions with people. Gemini learns and strives in that social feeling. On the flip end, its sister sign, Sagittarius, is usually more about the bigger picture of things. The question why? It brings you into a different kind of frame of mind because Gemini rules the things on the lower world when it comes to mindset and ideas, and Sagittarius represents big picture, larger than life kind of energy. To put in context for you, most protagonists that you see in any action film, in any movie that you enjoy, and all the cartoons that you watched growing up were most likely Sagittarians or had Sagittarius somewhere in their big three. Now, when the sun and moon are opposite, the key to this axis is staying open to whatever insights or viewpoints that may arise to you. Gemini and Sagittarius are both open-minded, and without that, they wouldn't be able to execute on their manifestations and ideas as well as they do. So what's the release and lesson of this specific full moon? Let's find out, shall we? Now that we've got that out the way, let's get into the real. Aren't you done being scared of being great? Isn't that just the worst shit in the world? We spend our entire lives having to deal with the society and what people are trying to tell us what we can do or what we can't do. Meanwhile, most of the people that are trying to tell you no have never stopped to even try it themselves. And that's the truth of the matter. And what is this full moon in Sag about? The truth of the matter. If you're scared to chase your dreams, you won't achieve them. If you say you can't do something, you're literally making that happen for yourself. Happening at 13 degrees, this is about embodying your philosophy. And if you are lying to people in order for them to like you, if you're lying to people about your personality, the things that you enjoy in order for you to fit into something, it's going to blow up back in your face and you're going to just have to be yourself again to begin with. So why go through everything? Pick up pieces of something that you don't resonate with when you could just show up the first time as yourself. Gemini has a bad reputation by people who don't understand astrology for them being two-faced. Gemini is a reflection and a mirror of whatever it ends up seeing and getting. If you're cool and solid to a Gemini, they're cool and solid with you. If you go to a Gemini and start gossiping, they are going to do that with you. So when people are saying Gemini are two-faced, they're showing you exactly back the exact thing that you've been showing them. And on the flip end, Sagittarian will tell you from the jump, hey, I don't like this. Which is very off-putting for some people. But Sag is a sign of fire. As a matter of fact, cosmic fire. Lighting up the space, the outside of things that we can't even fully see. The moon is going to be making a slight trine over to Mars as well. And Mars that just went into Leo, this is going to inspire the actions that you see. Think of this full moon in Sagittarius like when you're playing a video game and then you get the map And suddenly you're like, oh, I have the map. I can literally go wherever I want. And it's not the fact that you have the navigation as much as that's the excuse for the grand adventure. This full moon in Sagittarius is reminding you of the grand adventure in your life that you are meant to go on. And with Mars and Leo, it's going to inspire action over the next 2 weeks in order for you to fully accomplish this. One of the key features about this full moon in Sagittarius that I see is that Mercury is going to be conjunct Uranus and Taurus. This is a day to dispel any incorrect idea or notion that you have about yourself that blocks you from growth. This is actually going to be showing people inspired and divine action. And with Jupiter being on the North Node, this is also a call to slow your world down around you and embrace the true essence of yourself. But Maverick, how do I be myself? Well, there's this thing called a birth chart, and I happen to be one of the best readers of all time. And I happen to have a sale to get things started for your summer. And oh shoot, is that a website right there? But seriously, please make sure that you end up checking out either my ebook on manifestation that I just dropped based off of your rising sign, or come pull through and get a full consultation reading where I break down the intricacies of your specific birth chart and let you know the power that you have based on the stars that were aligned when you chose to come into this universe or world, or however way you want to put it. Regardless, if you don't know, now you know. But for real though, pull through, get the reading. I just forgot to put my earrings in. Oh no. If there's one thing that I could give to y'all as a moon in Sagittarius for this full moon in Sagittarius, you gotta think to yourself, if no one believed in what you were doing and no one would give you a singular accolade for it ever, based off the fire that your heart has and the fire that inspires you to move forward, what would you do? For me, in my instance, that's astrology. As much as I'm a creative, as much as I'm an artist, as much as I'm a businessman, as much as I'm a marketer, when everything else goes to shit, when anything else gets a little bit convoluted, I always go back to the astrology. I always find a way to look at and find a chart. And for me, that's what I love. I always dreamed of being an astrologer. And now that I am one, it's like, what's next? So let's say you do know what that thing is. The full moon in Sag is going to show you the different pathways that you can go in order for you to dive in deeper into that thing. So the key to this full moon in Sagittarius is to embrace your own grand adventure. And no, not every day is going to be pretty. Not every episode is going to be perfect. But at the end of a show and at the end of a series, when everything ends, do we think about what every character did, every action that they took? Or do we remember their vision and how they made us feel? Remember your vision and how that makes you feel this full moon. And always do what you love.